You've just unboxed a multi-$1,000 GPU workstation. You fire up a large language model training run, and the dashboard looks perfect, 100% GPU utilization. But as you check the wall clock time, something is wrong. The iterations are taking twice as long as the benchmarks promised. You check the thermals, they're fine. You check the VRAM, it's not even full. This is the first trap of modern compute auditing, the utilization Lee. Most developers treat the GPU as a black box where higher percentage means better performance. In reality, that 100% figure often represents the execution units being active. But it doesn't tell you if they are doing meaningful work or simply spinning while waiting for data to arrive over the bus. When we audit hardware performance, we have to look past the surface level metrics provided by basic task managers. We need to look at the invisible straw connecting your CPU to your accelerator. If that straw is clogged, your high-end silicon is just an expensive space heater. Today, we're tearing down the telemetry to find out where your FLOPs are actually going. Common intuition suggests that if the GPU is the bottleneck, we just need a faster GPU. But what if the bottleneck isn't the chip itself? To understand this, we have to look at the PCI bus, the Peripheral Component Interconnect Express. In a modern dev kit, the PCI lanes are the communication highways between the system memory and the GPU's VRAM. If you're running a multi-GPU setup, you might think you have 16 lanes per card, but many consumer and even mid-range pro motherboards use lane bifurcation. You might actually be running at X8 or even X4 speeds without realizing it. When your model weights or training batches exceed the local VRAM and start swapping back to system RAM, the PCI bus becomes saturated. At this point, your GPU compute cores are essentially stalled. They are technically utilized because they're managing the memory request, but they aren't performing tensor operations. This creates a ghost utilization spike. You see 100% load, but your throughput is bottoming out. To catch this, we can't just look at utilization. We have to monitor the PCI, TX, and RX throughput metrics. If your bus is hitting 15 or 31 gigabytes per second consistently, you aren't GPU bound, you're bus bound. Let's go deeper into the telemetry. Beyond the bus, there's a hidden struggle happening inside the silicon power limit throttling. Modern GPUs are governed by aggressive firmware that balances clock speed against a strict TDP thermal design power. Even if your temperatures look okay at 60 degrees Celsius, the GPU might be throttling because it's hitting its maximum allowed wattage. Using tools like NVIDIA SME with the Edmund flag, we can see the upper and the clock's columns in real time. If you see the clock frequency fluctuating wildly while the power draw stays flat at the limit, you've hit a power wall. This is especially common in compact dev kits or multi-accelerator rigs where the total system draw is capped. But here is the contradiction sometimes. A saturated PCI bus actually lowers your power draw because the cores are waiting, which masks a cooling problem. When the bus finally clears and data floods in, the power spikes, the heat builds instantly, and the frequency drops. It's a cascading failure of throughput. Auditing this requires correlating three distinct data streams: PCI bandwidth, core clock frequency, and power draw. If these three don't move in harmony, your hardware configuration is fighting your software. The real-world consequence of ignoring these metrics is what we call the compute tax. Imagine a developer deploying a Kubernetes cluster for inference. They see high GPU utilization and decide to scale up by adding more pods. But if the underlying issue is PCI saturation on the host, adding more software load only increases the overhead of memory management. The latency doesn't just stay high, it grows exponentially as the bus contention increases. We've seen cases where a single GPU running at X16 PCIe Gen 4 outperformed two GPUs running at X8 Gen 3, despite having half the theoretical TFLOPS. This is because the synchronization overhead between the cards was eating the entire bandwidth budget. This isn't just a theoretical problem for researchers, it affects every developer using Docker containers with GPU pass-through. Every layer of abstraction adds a tiny bit of telemetry noise. If you aren't auditing the raw hardware counters from the host, you are making scaling decisions based on fiction. You might spend $10,000 on hardware upgrades when all you needed was a motherboard that didn't bifurcate its lanes. So how do we fix the audit? The resolution lies in low-level telemetry tools like NVIDIA's TCGM Data Center GPU Manager or the open source InvTUP. Instead of looking at a single utilization percentage, we build a dashboard that tracks SM occupancy, memory bandwidth utilization, and PCI throughput as three separate pillars. If SM occupancy is high but memory bandwidth is low, your kernels are likely compute bound. That's good. If memory bandwidth is pegged at 90% but SM occupancy is low, your code is inefficiently moving data. And if PCI throughput is at its limit, you need to rethink your data pipeline or your hardware topology. The takeaway is simple: never trust a single-digit performance metric. A professional engineering audit requires looking at the movement of data, not just the speed of the processor. By monitoring these unseen bottlenecks, you can optimize your workloads to fit the actual physical constraints of your machine. You'll stop chasing ghost utilization and start getting the performance you actually paid for. Hardware reality is often messy, but the telemetry never lies if you know where to look.